What a head, son! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy, FPL, and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video, I'll be taking you through my very own transfer plan for the upcoming Game Week 21. So Game Week 20 is still ongoing, however, I don't have any players still to feature tonight. Wolves taking on Forest. Fingers crossed Chris Wood doesn't go large. Even though there's one game left tonight, I still have my transfer plan pretty concrete, and therefore the one free transfer almost looks locked in. So in this video, I'll take a quick recap of how my team is getting on in Game Week 20 before taking a look at Game Week 21 and how I'm going to use that free transfer. If that's something you guys are interested in, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So 2025 seems to be the year of the red arrow. I ended Game Week 19 on a red arrow. Probably going to end Game Week 20 on a red arrow as well, so definitely not the best start to the year. As you guys can see, a mere 50 points accumulated for Game Week 20, and that's dropped us by 50k red arrow to around the 149k mark. Now as mentioned, no players still to feature tonight, and therefore I hope that Chris Wood doesn't do too much, as with his healthy ownership, any goals will actually make this red arrow quite bad. So at the moment, Stop the Red Arrows is fully in place. I think this is going to be the 4th or 5th red arrow in a row. Now the team does look okay. I'll be going through some talking points and reasons why we might not be getting those FPL points. The biggest one probably is going to be Chelsea Football Club. But it just seems like the benchings and the transfers are coming back to bite us, and that's why I hope the Game Week 21 transfer actually pays off quite nicely. But it's because I got a red arrow. In the comments down below, did you guys also get a red, or was it a green? If you guys owned them, boomer, congrats on the green arrow. Now with one eye on Game Week 21 already, one free transfer and 1.3 left in the bank, so an upgrade can be made, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Let's go over where those 50 points came from on the bench. I spoke about these benching dilemmas, and João Pedro with a 9-pointer was one of them. Now the reason I actually went for the João Pedro benching is that I trusted that Arsenal defense, and because I owned a double up, I was hoping for a clean sheet. So I decided to play it a bit risky, hedge the fact that Arsenal would keep a clean sheet. That wasn't the case though, so going for the safer option of just playing him would have been 8 points better. As you guys will know, João Pedro managed to get a penalty. Was it a penalty, yes or no? It did look like one. And what are the odds that the defender I don't own, Saliba, gives it away? So I guess that's the reason we own these kind of penalty takers in FPL. Even against tough opposition, they might always get a pen. Now at least Munoz or Greaves didn't get any kind of additional points. They both blanked and conceded a few goals. Now Fabianski's still out injured, but I wasn't going to play him against Man City anyways. And I've already kind of said my goalkeeper Raya, who lost their clean sheet to João Pedro. Also racked up, I guess, a save point to take him to the 3-pointer. Would have really loved a clean sheet in this one though. Now let's start off with Trent. As a Liverpool fan, super disappointed in his performance as well as the overall performance. This 0-pointer perfectly reflects how he played in Game Week 20. So congrats if you guys are a United fan. I thought that the game was a lot better from a United point of view. And Trent going from a 15-pointer to a 0-pointer wasn't appreciated. I guess it is what it is, tougher opposition, better attacking departments. Does lead the question though, will there be rotation with Connor Bradley, who looked a lot better once he came on? At the moment though, not too concerned with these FA Cup EFL games. There might be some rotation, and pretty sure Trent should start most of the Premier League fixtures. Then in addition to Raya, also owned Gabriel for his 2-pointer, so losing the clean sheet to João Pedro on the bench got even worse. Now even though they didn't concede that many chances, just takes one chance to actually concede. Another day there could have been a clean sheet here for Arsenal. Now last player Robinson, wasn't really expecting them to concede so many goals to Ipswich, but one I think was also a penalty. So starting Munoz over Robinson would have been better by 1 point, but overall Robinson actually had a pretty good game. The defensive department really did not come in clutch this week, was a dismal performance. Let's see if we can rebound in Game Week 21. Now midfield department had some weight to it, Mo Salah starting off with a penalty goal against United. Overall a little bit of a quiet game, but did create a big chance. Unfortunately though, no bonus points as the goals and assists were pretty split, but he ended up on a 7-pointer. As mentioned, that Liverpool Man United game was pretty all over the place. Don't exactly know if it was the weather or just both teams' play style. Mo Salah did get a few chances though, but only the one goal. Cole Palmer also 1 goal, except he got 3 bonus points in Chelsea's 1-1 draw to Crystal Palace. So Palmer's back on it. If you guys had the vice captaincy on him, maybe you were hoping for the postponement, but Liverpool Man United went ahead. Now Cole Palmer was the good side of Chelsea. A 10-pointer is always appreciated, Enzo on the other hand was the opposite end of the spectrum. So that's why I kind of mentioned João Pedro was an 8-point mistake because I was considering starting Enzo or João Pedro. I know with hindsight, probably a bad decision. Just decided to kind of hedge that Chelsea fixture, and that's why I'm saying Chelsea are probably one of the problems I do have in my team, just haven't been performing at the moment in terms of the Premier League. So Enzo got a yellow card late into the fixture for only the 1 point, hasn't really got many points in the previous game weeks. Then a potential another mistake was actually doing our transfer. We took Bruno out for Gordon in our deadline stream, and after that first off from Newcastle, I was pretty happy. Now Gordon did have a few other chances, could have potentially scored another goal, but only the 7-pointer, not many bonus points. Now the reason I'm saying it might be a mistake is that obviously Bruno now has Southampton at home in Game Week 21, and might even be a captaincy consideration over Salah. So fingers crossed United go back to their old ways, don't score too many against Southampton, but I guess Gordon's a good option for the future game weeks. Then our final player Semenyo got only 3 points, he missed I think 2 big chances in this one. Don't really know how he hasn't been scoring points when I play him. Now unfortunately probably on my high list of transfers out now that those Bournemouth games do get tougher. I won't lie to you, Semenyo's been pretty disappointing. Just when you guys compare him to other options such as a Rodgers and a Mudd, hasn't kept up with them, even though the Bournemouth fixtures have been pretty strong. As mentioned though, had a ton of chances, the XG/XA looks super strong for him, just can't convert them. Then up front, Isaac continuing as usual, got the 7-pointer, also racking up a bonus point. Just a great asset to own at the current moment, one of the standout forwards, definitely performing better than Jackson, so happy I brought him in. Jackson once again only the 2-pointer against Palace, had some chances but just can't convert them. Now you guys can probably see why I say Chelsea FC are ruining my squad. Jackson can't finish and Enzo's not getting any points. What to do with him is another debate, but I might just keep him as he probably will start, and as he's getting a few chances, just hopefully he converts some of them in the future game weeks. But Jackson's performance kind of sums up our performance for Game Week 20 perfectly, a 50-pointer, a big red arrow. Hopefully Game Week 21 is the week we turn it around. But as mentioned, just because it was a bad week for me doesn't mean it was a bad week for you guys. Let me know how many points you guys got and whether it was a green or a red arrow. Also while you're at it, let me know how that overall rank is looking at this stage of the season. We just passed the halfway point. Now for the transfer plan video, I usually go over my starting 11, but as mentioned, this transfer is pretty locked in, and it's going to be Semenyo out for Eze. I could have gone for Ismaila Sarr, but I trust Eze slightly more, could be on penalties, and it's just more nailed. Now with that 1.3 in the bank, I'm using it to upgrade to Eze, and that's why I kind of did the transfer of Bruno to Gordon last week. Now in terms of fixtures, it's a no-brainer. Yes, maybe Semenyo has Southampton and Wolves in the future game weeks, but over the next 5, Eze has Leicester, West Ham, Brentford and Everton. So super excited to hopefully get Eze into my team and maybe he can turn this red arrow into a green arrow run. I won't lock this transfer in yet unless there's price changes, as there's going to be FA and EFL Cup games. So the next deadline, Game Week 21's deadline, is only on next Tuesday, so please watch out for those domestic cup competitions and make sure your players stay fit and don't get injured. So just a reminder, I won't be doing this unless there are price changes. Just want to see how those EFL Cup games and those FA Cup games go, although in the FA Cup there should be quite a lot of rotation. Now I mentioned Jackson out could also be a possibility, but with Chris Wood playing Liverpool, not too keen to jump on that bandwagon, might leave that for Game Week 22. Also could do Mateta for Jackson from -4, although the Crystal Palace fixtures do look good, Chelsea have some good 2 fixtures next. Let me know what transfers you guys are doing for the upcoming game week. How do you guys like this move, or is there an alternative? Sometimes you guys might see something better than I do. But with that transfer in mind, let's go over my current team selection. With the Eze transfer, haven't done it yet but probably going to lock it in. Now the bench this week, I've had enough of Chelsea, I'm benching Enzo. Bournemouth are quite a tough defensive side. With Robinson, there could be a clean sheet, that's the only kind of dilemma, is should I bench Robinson or start him over one of my other attackers. The rest of my defense is pretty okay fixtures. Then Greaves, Fabianski, fine with benching them, Fabianski's still injured, and even though Ipswich look better, this is Brighton. Soraya once again between the sticks, North London derby is at home though, gonna back those good defensive stats, but I'm quite worried. Gabriel also in the back line, should I start Robinson over Gabriel? That could be a debate that I actually will be having. Might just hedge it and go for the Arsenal clean sheet, although last week that didn't go well. I guess both players do offer attacking threat. Then Trent against Forest, also a tougher game, but I'm not going to be benching him. As mentioned, I do expect to rest in the FA Cup and should be fine for Forest in Game Week 21. Then Munoz, the reason we brought him in, these lovely fixtures, Leicester away, fingers crossed defensive and attacking returns. Leicester also concede quite a few chances down his flank, so this could be a massive haul on the cards. Then our midfield department, I've got Salah, currently the captain against Forest, although this might change by that Tuesday deadline. Honestly think this might be the week to go for a differential captain, just don't know who I would go for in my current squad. Gordon against Wolves is going to have to do a lot of work to keep up with Bruno against Southampton, otherwise I might regret that transfer quite a bit. Still a great asset though, hopefully get some rest in the upcoming Newcastle games, as I need him for the future game weeks. Then Cole Palmer, definitely going to start on Bournemouth at home as an okay fixture. They have been one of the better performing teams at the moment though. And then finally Eze against Leicester, great fixture, and if I do bring him in, I hope he goes for a massive haul. Just think this transfer doesn't make sense as a fixture-based manager. Those Crystal Palace ones are too hard to ignore. Then finally up front, Isaac against Wolves could actually be a Campsey shout. Just feel like Salah might have more points potential though. Jackson, he really needs to score here, otherwise he's out the door. But even saying that, Chelsea have a good fixture in Game Week 22. I just hope he does something, anything at all. Been a massive disappointment since bringing him in. Then finally João Pedro, won't bench him against Ipswich. Really happy to see that he's getting the majority of minutes. Just a great kind of budget option with the great fixture. He might burn his way out next week, let's see how he performs in this one though. On paper, as you guys can see, the starting 11 with that Eze transfer looks pretty decent. Although saying that, not owning United coverage for Southampton at home does feel quite wrong. So even though our team might look good, other teams have also good players, and therefore I'm just hoping for a green arrow to get us back on the train. Let me know what you guys think about this team selection as well as your own transfer dilemmas. Join my Discord server where I'm slightly more active. Fingers crossed tonight Chris Wood doesn't go too big, as that's only going to make our red arrow even worse. Hopefully Game Week 21 is going to be the start of 2025's green arrow train. Let's see what happens. This is basically a wrap up for the video guys. Hope you guys did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like if you didn't subscribe if you have subscribed yet. Tons of content still to come. Watch out for those EFL Cup games and those FA Cup games. But for the time being, I'm signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL and I'm out. Cheers, bye.